Welcome back to the new video. Today, we bring you another awesome story here at Worth Knowing. Watch the video till the end to know more and subscribe to the channel so that we keep bringing you such videos. We live in crazy times. On the one hand, the topics of fitness and nutrition are more popular than ever. Millions of people visit gyms. The fitness market is booming and new items for healthy eating, new diet programs, and new nutritional supplements come onto the market almost every day. On the other hand, more and more people are overweight and struggle with corresponding diseases such as diabetes or cardiovascular diseases. According to the German Nutrition Society, 48% of people over 18 were overweight in Germany alone in 2017. But worldwide, the trend towards obesity continues to rise year after year. A person who can practically sing a song about being overweight is Arya Permana. The boy from Caravan, Indonesia, a poor town on the island of Java, entered the Guinness Book of Records as the heaviest 10-year-old in the world, weighing a whopping 192 kilograms. This means he weighs almost as much as 6 average 10-year-olds. Of course, not only everyday life, but also Arya Permana's entire life is very different than that of a normal 10-year-old due to his enormous physical activity. In this video, we want to take you into his life. We first answer the question of why he is so fat, then look at Arya's everyday life with all its limitations and peculiarities, and finally we look at his way out of being fat. Because so much has already been anticipated. On $180 a month, an income that was well below average even by Indonesian standards. At the age of 2, his parents noticed that Arya was becoming overweight. The reason for this was that he screamed for more food at every meal and could not be controlled until he was given more food. So his parents gave in more and gave him double portions and eventually extra snacks, many of which were particularly spicy or sugary. The exact reason for Arya's insatiable desire to eat all the time is still unclear. One explanation is that he developed a psychological addiction to food when he was a small child, so that he showed withdrawal symptoms after going too long without eating. Another explanation is that Arya has the so-called a hormone that signals to the body that it is full. Those affected by the syndrome constantly feel as if they are hungry. However, both explanations could neither be proven nor ruled out in Arya's case. In any case, as stated, Arya's extreme craving for constant food led to his parents overfeeding him for years. At the age of 5, he already weighed twice as much as his peers. Since his parents were too poor for medical care, and there is hardly any education about nutrition in Indonesia, after all, at the age of 10, in 2016, Arya weighed 192 kilograms, making her the heaviest person of his age. But what does his life look like as the heaviest 10-year-old in the world? To answer that, let's now look at his typical daily routine at the time. Like every person, Arya wakes up from her sleep in the morning. However, this is where the first special feature becomes apparent. Arya hasn't been able to sleep lying down since she was in elementary school. The reason for this is that he suffers from extreme shortness of breath due to his excess weight. So he couldn't breathe while lying down and ended up having to sleep sitting up leaning against the wall. By the way, Arya also has an abrasion or calluses on her forehead because she sleeps sitting up. This developed because Arya would often fall over while she was sleeping and then usually fall on her forehead and wake up. So after waking up, Arya gets up. A small thing, but one that is a big challenge for Arya. Every time he stands up, he is in danger of falling and is hardly able to lift his own weight. Of course, his day begins with his first meal. As is not uncommon in Indonesia, his breakfast was already a full menu and, like any of his meals, consisted of rice, fish, beef, soup and tempo, a traditional Indonesian soy patty that is known to be extremely filling. So he is unable to leave his house on foot and spends his time in his parents' house. After breakfast, he usually lies down directly in the Spartan pool on the terrace of his home. The reason for this is the enormous temperatures in Indonesia's tropical climate. Because of his fatness, Arya can hardly stand the fairly constant temperatures of around 30 degrees without cooling down in this way. Besides eating and bathing, he spends most of his time playing, primarily with his smartphone. There he plays strategy games like Clash of Clans and other mobile games. In the afternoon, when his friends from the neighborhood are back from school, he also gets visits from them and plays a variety of games with them. However, Arya cannot exercise due to his excess weight, a restriction from which not only he, but also his mother suffers greatly. Arya typically has a big meal before bed. By the way, he wears an oversized men's skirt almost all day, as other items of clothing become uncomfortable for Arya in the long run, not only because of the temperatures, but also because they are too tight for her. As it began, Arya's day ends with him sitting down on the living room floor against the wall to sleep. As already indicated at the beginning of the video, a lot has happened at Arya in the last few years. Because even though he was the heaviest boy in the world in 2016, Arya and his life now look completely different. Since he was 9 years old, his parents have been looking for a way to combat Arya obesity. Doctors had previously warned her that her son could have serious health problems and possibly even die from his excess weight. The first measure his parents took in consultation with the doctors was to put Arya on a diet. For weeks he received almost nothing but brown rice from his parents, so his amount of food was extremely reduced. Even though this diet was radical, it was a failure. Even after many weeks, Arya was only 13 kilos lighter than before. This would be good progress for normal people, but not in Arya's case, so the situation became more and more urgent. Doctors estimated he might only have a few years left and Arya's weight threatened to increase even further. Eventually, local media took notice of Arya's story. This is how Arya suddenly became a popular phenomenon. Newspapers wrote about him. He was entered into the Guinness Book of Records and even invited to Indonesian talk shows. Thanks to this media presence, Arya suddenly had numerous supporters who wanted to help him lose weight. B, also the well-known Indonesian bodybuilder Ad Ray. This support then helped Arya parents get the financial resources they needed to have their son undergo a stomach reduction. In April 2017, Arya finally underwent surgery at Omni Hospital in Jakarta. A 5-hour procedure that reduced his stomach volume to less than a third of its original size. However, the first weeks and months after the dangerous procedure were not an easy time for Arya, as he vomited after almost every meal. Over time, however, Arya got used to his new stomach and lost a whopping 200 pounds in the year following the operation. This enormous weight loss then opened up completely new possibilities for Arya. So he started training, was able to wear normal clothes, and was completely fed up with about 7 tablespoons. However, because his skin had not regressed in line with his weight loss and was severely stretched from his previous excess weight, Arya had extreme skin flaps. His flaps of skin were also eventually surgically removed, so that Arya now looks like a normal 13-year-old boy, except for a few details. He now even plays football and badminton with his friends and has a good chance of maintaining his weight in the future. And of course, Arya can go back to school and make an effort to catch up on the material he missed. Despite his difficult situation, according to the current status of Arya's life, everything has turned out well, and he can even claim that he holds a world record. And that's it for our video about Arya. A day in his life and his crazy story. Feel free to write us in the comments what you think of Arya and his case and what you think about it. Otherwise, like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel for more.